Thrillers never, under any circumstance at any point, leave out fashion, no matter what else is happening in the film. Crowds consistently need movies that get their hearts racing. Number 10. Silence of the Lambs, 1991. Jonathan Demme's work of art sits on the boundary among thrill rides and blood and gore flicks, and is one of only a handful of exceptional movies in the last class to at any point win an Oscar. As far as bloody and savagery, there isn't excessively, however the topic is somewhat horrible. Clarice Sterling, Jodie Foster, enrolls the assistance of detained man-eater Dr. Hannibal Lecter, otherwise known as Anthony Hopkins, with exceptions of chasing down a corrupted chronic killer named Bison Bill. While the grim chase would be connecting enough, Dem utilizes this ridiculous setting as an approach to investigate sex elements and the injury or enthusiastic existence of the film's hero. Reactions around the film's treatment of trans issues are merited. However, the story is undeniably more discreet than the most recent flood of pundits give it acknowledgement for. Number 9. Basic Instinct, 1992. In general, Paul Verhoeven movies will sit on the edge of so awful it's acceptable and Gilful Vertigo as the very best instances of Camp Doom. Although the film accumulated a sort of proto-virality, more than one especially prudent scene, including Sharon Stone, there's something else to this movie, besides a couple of obscenely spread legs. Delivered in 1992, Basic Instinct was very somewhat radical to the extent portrayals of sex go, and its high craftsmanship desires had New York Times pundits offering the commendation of contrasting it with Hitchcock's Oeuvre. However, similar to the entirety of the best movie at any point made, Basic Instinct was likewise somewhat troublesome. Number 8. Memento, 2000s. Mid-2000s sentimentally is at a record-breaking high, and there's no sure retro silliness to this odd secret story. Regardless, Memento is likely the solitary standard movie to at any point be entirely told in reverse in an account motion that astutely reflects a hero's entourage amnesia. The stylish probably won't hold up. However, the vanguard signal under the movie's reasonable senseless vanity is ridiculously yeaming for a standard film. By one way or another, the story gives a great end as well. Number 7. Parasite, 2019. A movie so brilliant, the Academy got over its far and wide xenophobia to sing its acclaim, even though its capacity entirely well as an off-the-wall secret. With various genuinely startling films, Parasite is likewise an impactful semi-Marxist critique on the challenges of getting away from poverty and the class hatred progressively instigating in the underground. Bong Joon-ho had made a series of ridiculously great movies before standard pundits understood his virtuoso, including some great science fiction movies, yet Parasite is his best work yet. Number 6. Mulholland Drive, 2001. David Lynch's profoundly out-of-reach Bad Dreams are the absolute most troublesome movies in film history. Excellent with lovers, adulting his brazen hug of oddity, and his naysayers essentially guaranteeing that nothing he makes bodes well. The facts confirm that Mulholland Drive doesn't have a good plot, yet on the off chance that you can accept the rationale of dreams, there's something beautifully angering about the Lynch's threatening cosmology. Nobody could question the propelled excellence of Lynch's cinematography, nor could anyone contend with Naomi Watts' force as an entertainer, playing both a global entertainer who coincidentally finds criminals' undertakings from past this world and a separated minor world variant of a similar person. You can look at a rundown of the best David Lynch movies for a greater amount of his work. Number 5. Lady Vengeance, 2005. South Korean retribution films are essentially their subclass of spine chiller, and Park Chan-wook's Lady Vengeance is one of its undervalued passages. The trilogy, and even though it will inevitably be contrasted with its more well-known realistic kin, it certainly stands its ground. In the wake of being delivered from jail, the hero starts a complex chase for the killer, who could conceivably have outlined her. Yet she will not race out of her journey without impressive blood on her hands. highlighting maybe one of the most grounded cosmetic glances in film history. The movie is a hopeful dream that isn't for the nauseous. Number 4. Misery, 1990. Stephen King's meta-printed short novel regarding a scholarly fan who catches her number, one creator, and holds him prisoner for her satisfaction, was transformed into a fanatic and dimly dramatic movie by Chief Rob Reiner and Kathy Bates, turned into a far-fetched ghastliness symbol in the wake of turning in this profoundly insane execution. In the film's foot-breaking peak is perhaps the most instinctively sickening moment at any point caught on film. Fun reality, Misery has the uncommon honor of being the solitary Stephen King movie to at any point gather an Oscar win. Number 3. Drive, 2011. Pundits guaranteed that Nicholas Winding Refn's moody neo-noir has an unprofessional illustration of style over substance. Yet, Drive's developing of factions of devotees counters that style is a substance when done well. Neon-doused brutalist scenes, moderate essential exchange, exquisite and exaggerated costuming, and an Italo-disco impacted soundtrack driven by Johnny Jewel's Secrecy of Witchy Ladies. Rise was what lamentably publicized as a reasonably normal activity movie in the domain of high workmanship. You can likewise look at our rundown of the best Netflix movies for more stuff like this. Number 2. Soulbound, 1945. Hitchcock made the diagram for what might proceed to characterize the spine chiller class. And even though he's more famous for darling movies like Rear Window and Psycho, surely might have acquired a spot on this rundown. Spellbound fantasy arrangements, visitor coordinates, by in all honesty Salvador Dali gave an otherworldly quality to this frightening little whodunit. There's more than one Vanguard wind here. The two casting of Red that spring up at the movie's decision addresses an early illustration of textualization of shading in standard film. Here are a few honorable mentions. Eyes Wide Shut, 1999. Eyes Wide Shut is maybe Kubrick's most unappreciated movie. It turns out stories, including underground and super extravagant cinematic sex factions, aren't by and large everybody's favorite thing in the world. The genuine strain between the destined to be, separated from Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, is played up in this tale about a pair of lonely desire. Kubrick's expectedly lovely artistic eye is on full presentation in Kidman's famous speech about her eroticized and recollections of a sexual experience she wished she had sought after is sad, upsetting, and awful in one way or another. At the same time, The Prestige, 2006. We're going to say it, this is Christopher Nolan's most fulfilling film, and one which uncovers increasingly more of itself the more you watch it. Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale are fighting performers in Victorian London. Michael Caine is the aide attempting to help Jackman out of sorcery Bale, and Scarlett Johansson is an ingenuine in every one of them. Also, there's a brief attraction abandoned. David Bowie, like Nikola Tesla. Tesla was his other common, somewhat radical figure, Nolan later recalled, and eventually it helped to me he was the first man who fell to Earth. Zodiac, 2007. When he was a kid, David Fincher saw that the police had been following his school transport. Gracious, definitely, said Fincher's father when youthful Dave returned home. There's a chronic executioner who had killed 4 or 5 individuals who calls himself the Zodiac, who's taken steps to take a powerful rifle and fire out of the tires of a school transport, and afterwards shoot the kids, surprisingly the transport. So began his interest with the Zodiac executioner. Ultimately, this brilliant and astonishing retelling of the manhunt, followed by a line of perplexing killings across California and Nevada. Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., and Mark Ruffalo led it. Number 1. Fight Club, 1999. It's effortless to poop on Fight Club these days, the tradition of David Fincher's film. More than a long time since it was adjusted for Chuck Palahniuk's novel, its equivalent parts to fulfentic and disgraceful. It perceived the male fury stewing under the undeniably disappointed consumerist sexual orientation reformer society, yet neglected to deal with the genuine effect of the outrage pouring out. all things being equal, once in a while, despite its best aims, viciousness is celebrated, aggregated backfire is embraced, and Brad Pitt is topless, furnishing a harmless manliness with an immortality cool mascot. In any case, anyway, you think its messages have matured throughout the long term. Fight Club is as of yet one of the most significant influential movies of the previous century. It likewise includes probably the best contors in film history. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for listening. I hope you found this video interesting and useful. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.